Hey guys, and welcome back. I hope everyone is doing okay today. I thought since the weekend starting to build up now, it's actually 1 week into the Champions League draw is announced. Newcastle United in the Champions League for the first time since 2003. I think once that draw is made, the reality will kick in. You see Newcastle amongst the balls. I can't wait for next week. I think it's going to be a surreal moment for everyone. But I thought in the meantime it'd be good now to be alongside someone today, a certain YouTuber you might know. He might be called Roobenstein.
Hey.
It's good to see you, Rob.
Good to see you, Adam. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Well, I've actually did a video with Rob as well, so make sure you go check his channel out. We've got a video on both channels, talk about transfers, talk about the future of Newcastle. Now, what the focus mine and what fans should expect. I think, a good way of starting this video off is to mention the stuff that happened to Bruno on social media a couple of days ago. I clearly upset on what fans have said regarding the Manchester City game. I just want to kind of talk about the expectations today of Newcastle fans, thinking ahead too much. Have we got to be realistic? I just want to kind of talk about our honest general thoughts on what we should expect this season. I think you guys can hopefully take some away from this video, and I'll be all for, so just agree with us, I guess, in the sense that Newcastle, yes, we're back in the Champions League now, but realistically there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. But I just wanted to start off by having some general chat about that Bruno incident now. Players came on social media, he's not happy with a tweet that's been made by an account, and all of a sudden thousands of people are now just slagging this account off. I just want to kind of ask you if you get your general thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right in terms of fan expectation, what to hope for, what to see Newcastle do this season. I think it's quite often everyone's very much black and white, to excuse the term, is either, for example, we played against Man City and we were terrible, we should have beat them, it was rubbish, or it's fine that we lost 1-0. That seems to be there can be a middle as well. There can be I am disappointed. We did lose a game that I'll be disappointed against. Anybody will lose against, but you can still also, you can be disappointed, but then also say, but we gave it a good go. So it's kind of like having that middle line sometimes, and I think some people can go to the extreme, as I say, in what's happened in this case, and has had a go at someone, and unusually you don't normally see it. Good for Bruno in a way is to actually come out and go, what, I'm not having it, because as I say, for me it was a game that I was disappointed that we lost, but I thought we gave it a good go. So yeah, it's trying to be there all season. I will be disappointed if we don't win every game. Isn't every football fan? But there is something to be said about a team who does try hard, and that's something that we definitely are. And I tell you what, we haven't lost many games in the last year and a half. So I think to be unhappy to lose against the best team in the world is probably a little bit out there.
Yeah, I always thought the expectations, I guess, going into that match now, I was confident Newcastle can go to the Etihad, do so, and yes, okay, I was a little bit disappointed from the game, but honestly, I didn't think we were that bad. I didn't think we were great either, but I just thought it was a bit in the middle. I didn't think much of the game, and I think Liverpool's a different sort of situation, which we'll talk about in a bit now. A team that done the double overs last season, a team that, personally for me, I can't stand. I don't like Klopp at all. He just grinds my gears, and it's a game where I just love it in the Keegan sense. I love it if we beat them. I just feel like this match has got everything that Newcastle fans are needing. I think a good kick on the backside from that City match. But I mentioned this quite a lot in my Bruno video actually, but just on the case of him one more time, I just wanted to kind of say, I think people probably at times probably should be a bit careful what you put in social media. You'd be surprised players do go on there, players will see stuff. Even for me, in my case, for example, I got to be careful with some things I say in my videos regarding individual players. I remember Longstaff last season, he kind of came up with us after you would have seen some of my videos. I think every Newcastle fan, to be fair, would have said something nasty about Sean Longstaff a couple of years ago. He was coming up going at him. Please don't slag me off this week. He was just joking around about. He's a lovely guy, but I do think you do have to be careful sometimes. Players, the last thing you want to do is to see players upset or see players angry. You ever, I guess, been in that sort of situation?
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one. I think generally speaking, everyone is always very lovely whenever you bump into them, but the comments aren't always the same on the videos. So it just goes both ways. It's trying to be respectful of both things. If you're not interested in a video, you don't have to watch it, I suppose. And it's the same with the football. If you're not enjoying it, turn the football off, I guess. Just be respectful and understand that the players, they're giving it their all, aren't they? We can see that, and it was disappointing. Eddie Howe was disappointed. There's enough people out there to be disappointed, and I'm sure he would have had talks with the players in the dressing room. It's not necessarily up to us to have a go at them on Twitter. So yeah, Liverpool coming up. hopefully we'll get a win.
Yeah, well, we'll mention the Liverpool game now. We'll start talking about that before we mention the Champions League.
Yeah.
But going to this gear, I think Newcastle have got a lot of work with, I honestly do. I think any team you play at home, I think Newcastle can go stand toe to toe. I might sound ludicrous and delusional saying this, but even the Champions League big boys, I think anyone at St James Park, they'll have a hard time. Liverpool's a strange one because that's a team that we managed to overtake last season, did now in New York, really because of those. They've made a couple of good signings. Obviously, Dominic Szoboszlai was one of our big ones.
Yes, he was indeed. Yeah,
he slipped away from us. It's just a team that I mean, I still don't think they're that great, to be honest. They've got some good players in there. They still, I think, needed to sign more. I think Liverpool fans, you ask them their thoughts on the transfer window, I think they probably would be a bit mixed. I don't think they'll be having the most fondest memories of the window. But listen, if we can't beat Liverpool now, I don't think we'll ever beat them. That's one thing I'll always say. I think going at this match, you've got to be able to get a result. I think, in my personal opinion anyway, before the Champions League, you want to get the results in as soon as possible. The last thing you want to do is for the games to mount up once it begins and you haven't got the points in the table. That's my logic behind it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing we spoke about at the start of the season, the fact that we do have a very tough run in. You know, everyone said that Villa was going to be a really tough game, won that 5-1. Don't know if that possibly raised a bit of expectation going into the Man City game because we've just won 5-1. And Villa are meant to be a team who are, you know, and I think will, to be honest, still be challenging for, you know, top 6 spots. Let's see what we can do against the champions. Didn't quite go to plan. Now we're taking on a side who I'd probably say maybe sits somewhere in the middle of the two. I would say that we'll be hoping to try and push their way back into, you know, top 6, top 4. And you don't get the chances back to play Liverpool at home. You know, it could come now, it could come later in the season. Is playing them off the back of losing against Man City a good thing? Well, you could say no because we've just lost, or you could say yes because, as you've said, we've just had the kick up the backside. Let's go and make sure we get it done this time around. So yeah, I think I'm quietly confident. I don't think I'd shout it from the rooftops that I think we will win, but I think we'll give them definitely a good go. And like you said, off the back of a loss, and then, you know, go to Brighton the next game as well, which I think will also be tough. To not go in, you know, into our 3rd, 4th or 5th game and having not won since Villa wouldn't be a great start. Not in terms of the season because of who we've played, but just points on the board and where morale is. So a win would just kick us straight back in the right direction again.
Yeah, Brighton away. I'm worried for that game next week. We'll talk about it when the time comes. Yeah. But I do think we'll have to get someone against Liverpool in order for us to have a real good chance down there as well. But before we get into the Champions League, big week ahead of us where we'll get into that. But I want to kind of mention the transfer window side of things now. It's still just under a week into the window ends. Yeah. Newcastle has signed 4 players at the minute. Looks to be 4 that are just going to be finalised. We've got Barnes, Tonali, Livramento and Hall. Rob, your general thoughts? Do you think Newcastle should have got a centre-back in? Do you think we've lacked in some areas, or do you think it's Newcastle that picked quality over quantity, that made sure that they got good players in rather than us filling spots?
No, generally speaking, I'm delighted. You know, you talk about, you know, little bits here and there, and, you know, as I say, Shaw going down, holding his head against Man City, and I'm thinking, can we please get a centre back in before the window ends? But otherwise, no, I'm very happy. I think you make a really good point actually on quality over quantity, because you can look at teams like when Spurs sold Bale and just brought in like 7-8 players for like 5 million each, and they couldn't fit in. You know, the squad's already overflowing as it is with players who don't play. I think it was important to try and bring a player in that you can literally go, boom, Tonali, first 11's better, boom, Barnes, first 11's better. And then you've kind of mixed and matched it with the 2 youngsters as well, to not just bring in for this window, but a bit of the future too. So yes, I'm happy with it. Obviously we can comment on it, I suppose, seeing how well they do at the end of the season, but generally speaking right now, yeah, I'm happy with how it's gone.
Well, we've got 2 more big questions I want to ask. Nice. Now the first one, the Champions League. Yeah. We are back in it now. The draw is a week today. Newcastle will be one of the balls that is getting picked out in the group stages. I mean, Rob, 2003 was the last time we were there. Now, I know you're a little bit older than me. I don't know if you had a chance to go to any of the games.
I didn't.
But I do remember going to the Europa League matches back in 2012. That was Silvio then.
Yeah.
This is bigger. This is better now. I mean, how's it feel, Rob?
Honestly, it doesn't. I don't think it feels real yet, to be honest. I think it will be that day watching the telly with the Champions League draw is when I go, oh God, like this is actually about to happen. Having said that, I got an email through saying they're starting to take payments for the home games, so I can see that it definitely is happening. Yeah, it's very exciting. I'm still want to see some big draws, but I also want to see us get as far as we can in the tournament too. So very excited for the draw. Yeah.
So man, no, for me, I wanted the best of the best teams now.
Yeah.
I'm fearless, so I want us to go in there. I want Real Madrid. I want them all. I definitely do want a Madrid song due to the Anthony Gordon stuff, so I definitely want to get them. Milan, AC Milan, I think all the Tonali stuff, all the Botman stuff as well. I'd love to get them. Imagine we get Milan and beat them more times.
That was good.
Oh God, obviously the San Siro as well. So we've got all sorts of different things popping there. I think the most important part is to enjoy it. Now, I don't want fans to kind of go away from this video and going, oh, Newcastle, we're going to get to the semi-finals, we're going to drop in the Europa League and win the Europa League. It doesn't work like that. It's hard, it's tough. Newcastle as well, a lot of our players are inexperienced. The majority of them have never played in Champions League before, other than a couple of our new signings. And even then, the likes of Karius aren't going to play anyway, so it's more or less Trippier and Tonali has only really played. So it's a lot on the players to ask. I think it's always going to be a long-term goal. I'm not expecting us to win anything, especially European-wise this season. I think for Newcastle, it's just about being back here. I think for this season, it's probably more of enjoyment than anything. I think long-term is when you can start to have a look at it properly and go, well, actually, can we do something this year? I think domestically, we definitely can give it a push in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, but I think for now, in terms of Champions League, I wouldn't say get your hopes up. I just think you should watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you make a really good point there as well with the it's going to be a really tough season with the league games, the cup games and the Champions League. And you've mentioned it there about really it's kind of like the first time in a very long time, a lot of youngish players who have never played in Champions League, and that kind of also shows the importance for us to try and get Champions League again next season, because that's one thing, is to go in and compete this year, to try and get that experience, to give it that go. You know, if we come into next season and we haven't hit the top four, then we're back on the same thing. So yeah, it's not just competing in these cups, it's also trying to keep it going in the league too, which is why I think it was important that we tried to bring in these players, this for sure.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with that. Listen, as the ownership's always said, it's a long-term goal.
Yes.
Anyhow, we're here to compete, yes we are, but yeah, it's always about taking it one step at a time. I think getting Champions League first full season on the ticket was incredible, but realistically, you're not going to be doing it on a consistent basis yet. But anyway, I don't want to try and sound negative there. We've done such a wonderful job. But Rob, I wanted to finish off with one more big question before we start off. But I just wanted to talk a bit about the Adidas stuff, everything that's going on there, because, well, Amazon Prime I think in my personal opinion, has accidentally released the last 2 episodes for a few hours. People had a chance to watch it. Then, after that, I think Newcastle and Adidas have reacted to the situation. They've started posting it on the 1st of September. Something regarding the two is going to happen, but I think everyone knows the answer to the story now. It's going to be Castore gone, Adidas in. But do you think there's more to this long term?
Yes. I'll be very interested to see what happens. I saw your video yesterday, very good video down at the food bank. Go and check it out if you missed yesterday's video. Talking about where Adidas can go and how much further can we push it, and I do totally agree. It may not necessarily be Adidas, but you've got to look at things of like training ground sponsors, like an actual sponsor for the training ground kits. Like there's so much more to come, and I think it's getting your foot in the door early for a team that is definitely going to keep going up and up. I think it's really great to see Adidas kind of come in and want to be part of that so early on. I think the sky's the limit, to be honest. You look at how much they paid Manchester United and 900 million for their deal. You know, who knows what we could see off the back of that one.
Exactly that. Listen, we'll say, I think the most important part is just more commercial revenue. Because of that revenue now on the FFP, you're allowed to spend more on the transfer window, which is why I think for some fans probably walking away from this window, you'd be thinking now, well, listen, Adam, Rob, there's a week left. Why are we not doing something else? Why is that centre half not in? Why is that right-handed side attacker not in? Well, we spent £180 million. That's a serious amount of money. We're still a team that was only just a couple of years ago fighting for relegation. I mean, we're a team that's we definitely, I wouldn't say overachieved because we definitely haven't, but we're definitely above that scale we were a couple of years ago, and I think it's probably a bit too soon to be honestly splashing more and more money on players. I think for the 4 we got him.
We want more players.
Yeah, I know. People are big greedy, people want to see the best of the best, which we will get there, but I think for now, what we're bringing in is good. I think we are done with the window. I don't see us being anyone else. And I mean, Lewis Hall, you've got to loan a guy out, an obligation to buy. We've only done that so we can pay it next season. I think with the clubs, I guess, strained everything it's could. It's got every last penny out of it than the players. And I think, well, for fans, you can't complain, can you?
No.
But we'll get there. We'll always get there. But appreciate it, guys. Anyway, I thought today would be a good opportunity to just have a chat with Roobenstein here, to chat about Newcastle's future. Rob, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, Adam. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, as I said before, Rob's in his own video with me as well, so you want to see a bit more on the transfer side of things, make sure to check it out. But appreciate it, guys. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Cheers.
Goodbye.